All right, good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Call City right here on 106.9 FM Go Uni Radio, the heartbeat of dialogue. And I hope you're doing awesome this beautiful Wednesday morning. It's a good day to be happy today, the 21st day of January 2025.
Yeah.
My name is Chike, and of course, I am always in the studio with my lady, my pretty lady with the golden voice, Esther in the house. Esther, how are you doing this beautiful Wednesday morning?
I am doing good. I mean, it's a beautiful day. I mean, it rained yesterday and then we had a cool night. I don't know about you, but my sleep was really nice last night.
Esther, it was awesome yesterday because man, I was
Yeah.
really expecting that rain, and
Mm. And it came.
it just calmed the weather down.
It did. It did.
Well, it was the showers of blessings, and we are so happy that it rained yesterday. All right, this is Good Morning Cool City, and every morning, as we always do it right here for you, we are here to make you feel good. We are here to make you crush it each day. We are here to help you attain your full potential, and we are here to make
Yeah.
your day great.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, we are going to be going straight up into our morning motivation, and Esther is kicking and ready to tell you how you're supposed to feel this day.
Yeah.
And of course, that will take us to our weather report. And afterwards, we'll go on a short musical break. And when we'll come back, we'll look through.
Ready.
Yeah, sure. All right. Esther, drop it like it's hot.
All right. Good morning, beautiful people, and happy Wednesday, the 21st of January. And if you're listening right now, take a moment to settle your mind and lift your spirit. I mean, you're already halfway through the week, and that alone is a quiet victory. Everything you've handled so far, every effort, every lesson has brought you right here, and I'm really proud of you. Today, I want you to move with confidence. You don't need to rush your growth or compare your progress to anyone else's. Focus on your lane. Focus on your purpose. What matters most is that you keep showing up, keep showing up. This morning, I want you to choose clarity over confusion and courage over doubt. Let your actions reflect belief in yourself and trust in the process. Even the smallest steps you take today are building something meaningful. I want you to remember that. And to everyone pushing forward, students, student, worker, a dreamer, or just a quiet fighter, I want you to know that your effort is not invisible. And growth doesn't always announce itself, but it is happening. So walk into this Wednesday with calm strength. Speak positively, stay focused, and remember you are capable of handling whatever today brings. From my heart to yours, I wish you a productive, peaceful, and fulfilling day. Keep going. You need to know that you're doing better than you think.
Yeah, you need to know that you're doing better than you think, and that's a
Always.
very important reminder for every one of us. You're actually doing better than you think. At least for the
Yeah.
fact that you slept yesterday and you woke up
And you
today,
woke
you're
up.
actually doing better than a lot of people. Because some
Yes.
people didn't wake up today.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands died today. Well, I say thousands. Yeah, thousands died today.
Mm-hmm.
Because across the globe, like this, we're not just talking about thousands in environment, but now you need to think beyond the environment and then see that you're actually making progress. And then
Right.
for you to get to where you are, where you want to be, just as you always remind us,
Mm.
you should understand that you have it all in you to
Yeah.
make it happen. Thank you
This.
so much, Esther, for that
It's always a
beautiful
pleasure. Always.
morning motivation. Like I always look forward to it. I always cherish it when you say
Mm.
things like that. Have you-
It is my pleasure, of course. I'm always right here every morning.
All right, this is
Mm.
still Good Morning Co City, and hope you've woken up. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Hope you've left the house already, or
Mm.
perhaps if you're working remotely or you're supposed to be at home to work. Hope you've started articulating how today is going to be. All
Mm-hmm.
right, just know that you have it all in you to make it happen.
Yeah.
So right about now, we're going to go straight up into weather report, and Esther has it all packaged together
Yeah.
this morning to tell us what we should be expecting today with the weather report.
Okay. Okay, let's move across the country together. And as usual, we start with Lagos. Okay, the center of excellence. So Lagos is waking up this morning under mostly cloudy skies. with a warm, humid southwest breeze already in the air. So if you're outside early, you may notice a slight mist around the lagoon areas. So Lagos will be expecting a high of 31 degrees Celsius and a low of 24 degrees Celsius by late morning. Okay, by late morning, the clouds will thin out, which will allow bright sunlight to take over. So this means that this early cloud might to make you feel comfortable for the early part of the day, but don't be fooled. Okay, when the sun comes out, the heat will intensify quickly. Okay, so just remember that. Make sure you're wearing breathable clothes, you're wearing light clothing, and yeah, you're with your water bottle always. And then moving on, we go to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. I mean, the FCT, the day begins clear but hazy with early temperatures sitting around 20 and 24 degrees Celsius. The sky has that familiar milky look that reminds you of dust, right? So in the afternoon, it will be very hot. The temperature then will be 38 degrees Celsius, which will cool down to 20 degrees Celsius overnight. So it stays sunny but dusty all day. This is just a classy, dry day that will be filled with you'll be sweating today. It's gonna be hot today, so visibility will be fair, but dust in the air will mean that drivers should be careful because visibility will be low. All right, moving on to Kano, the center of commerce. Kano greets the day with a chilly and a very hazy morning. As the sun rises, the thick dust continues to limit visibility, so temperatures will peak around 33 degrees, which will drop sharply to 16 degrees overnight. Dust haze remains persistent. So this is still we are still experiencing peak Hamatan in Kano. Visibility may be poor, enough to affect early travel plans, including flights. So just take note, if you're stepping outside, it's going to be dusty, so make sure you move with your nose mask, okay? Um, Moving on to Ibadan, the brown roof city. All right, it's Ibadan starting the day with cloudy skies, with light winds and a heavy, moist feel in the air. They'll be experiencing a high of 35 degrees and a low of 23 degrees Celsius. So they'll be expecting thundery showers later in the day. So this means that the clouds may make this morning feel cooler than it really is, but by midday, the heat will build rapidly in Ibadan. So if you're moving out in the afternoon, like I said earlier when I was talking about Lagos, make sure you're wearing breathable clothing. And in Port Harcourt, the Garden City, Port Harcourt wakes up cloudy and warm this morning with chances of early mist and an unsettling atmosphere. They'll be experiencing a high of 33 degrees Celsius and a low of 22 degrees Celsius with heavy thundery showers expected by midday. All right, so there'll be very strong winds that'll be pushing moisture inland, so it'll make the air damp and rain. It might rain inevitably later during the day in Port Harcourt. So check your umbrella and your rain gear if you're leaving home in Port Harcourt. And finally, here at home in Enugu, the morning begins with thick overcast skies and very high humidity around 91%. So even early on, the air will it's feeling warm and sticky already before the sun fully shows itself during the mid-afternoon. So temperatures will rise to between 32 and 34 degrees Celsius, which will drop to about 23 degrees at night. So as the day progresses, sunny intervals will replace the morning clouds. And this means that the heavy early humidity means the real temperature will climb fast once sunlight breaks out. So start your day with a glass of water. Early hydration helps your body cool better with heat and the moisture ahead. So just hydrate, wear breathable clothing in case you're moving out in the afternoon, and just take care of yourself, okay? If you're out there, if you're going out, you're moving, you're commuting, you're going to work, just make sure you're staying safe, you're taking care of yourself, okay? Okay, that's your weather report for today.
Yeah, of course. Make sure that you take care of yourself today. That's quite important. At least so we've had a vast rain, and it's so
Yeah.
exciting to see that see the showers last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. Remember, this is Good Morning Core City, and of course, we are sending out a big shout out to Joe City ICT Solutions, and who is a great partner in Good
Yeah.
Morning Core City. All right, Joe City ICT Solutions is of course, your shop plug when it comes to installation of computer systems of all types for your school, that's nursery, primary, and secondary schools, including tertiary institutions like College of Education, polytechnics, and universities. And as well, they also install and configure JAM CBT softwares into the computer systems for students' JAM exams. So, and if you want to reach out to Joe, you can visit them at their office at number 2 John and Ichuku Close, Bokiti Pocket Layout, Enugu State. And you can also call them on 081 5392 4562. I repeat, 08153924562, or on 07085462130. I repeat, 07085462130. And just visit them, and you'll consider all your installations
Yeah.
sorted out. All right. Thank you so much, Joe City ICT Solutions, for partnering with Good Morning Cool City
Hmm.
every day, as we'll dish out motivation and make
Yes.
your day a better one. All right. This is the Good Morning Cool City. And remember, you can always join us live on Facebook and on YouTube. You're going to see myself and the pretty Esther with the golden voice, telling you every morning that you can do it, and you
Yeah.
have all it takes to crush it so hard. All right, we're gonna go on a short musical break this one, and when we come back, we'll look through our top stories for today. Enjoy this one from Attila Home.
I love Atella.
Attila
Mm.
is a good musician,
She's.
actually. Yeah,
Is
in
it
as
a
much
he or
as
a she?
he's a he
Wow,
from
he
Benue
is
State, actually.
good. I don't
Yeah.
think he's gotten the recognition he deserves though.
All right, shout out to Attila.
Yeah.
You have a big fan right here. All right, enjoy this on Attila Home. And we'll return. We'll look through our top stories, our top 10 stories, I beg your pardon,
Yeah.
for today. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. We'll be right back.
Down like we do. Now listen. You won this. How about this? What about this? You definitely will like this. 106.5 Korean Radio. Everything you'll ever want. Oh, oh yeah.
Easy. Let me check.
It's a tenor. Yeah. I've been away for too long. I don't go places way far from house. Tell me something I never see, but I feel alone. I guess I'm alone. I don't meet people from everywhere. Them know they even greet me like my
You're the hits jam from WebLoaded.com.
when I speak my language, them no understand. So I feel alone. I still feel alone. So I have to go back home someday. And it no matter where I did before, them say you no go fit me for another man's land. So my heart can tell me there's no place like home. Oh my home, oh my home, oh my home. When shall I leave my home?
What do you think?
Oh my home, oh
You want to take
my
it first?
home. When shall I
Take it first.
I don't wear their clothes. I don't try their way. I don't even take the name when it be my own. I to run my name, but I'm not fit to call now. So I changed my name to help me feel alone. I don't miss the food with the cook, the food every day chop, and my mama laugh. I don't miss the thing. I don't miss the ferry. I don't miss my siblings. So I'm coming home. So I have to go back home someday. It don't matter where I You understand now.
Another hit jam from WhiteLoaded.com.
Schools, institutions, ICT centers. Upgrade your learning environment with the professionals you can trust. Joe City ICT Solutions. At Joe City ICT Solutions, we mount and install computer systems of all types for nursery, primary, and secondary schools, and for College of Education, polytechnics, and universities. Getting ready for JAMB CBT exams? Joe City ICT Solutions install and configures JAMB CBT software to international standards, giving students the confidence to succeed. Fast installation, reliable system, professional delivery. Visit Joe City ICT Solutions at number 2 John and Ichiku Close, Mbakite Pocket Layout, Enugu State. Call or WhatsApp 070 85 46 2130 or 0810 740 9064. Calls only 0815 392 4562. For more information, follow us at Professor Joe 10 at gmail.com. Joe City ICT Solutions, powering education through technology. Don't compromise quality. Choose Joe City ICT Solutions today.
Your systems are offline.
All right, welcome back to Good Morning Coal City, and of course that was Home by Atela, and hope
Beautiful.
you had a good one. Yeah, beautiful song. Yeah, it's a
Beautiful,
beautiful
beautiful.
song. When
But
you
like I just remember the days when I was still in secondary school, and
mm.
I was like, oh my home, oh my, oh my. It was
Just
really
like
fun
the
those
days,
days.
a few years back when you were in secondary school, right?
What do you mean?
All right, this is
Ah,
the Good Morning Coal City. Welcome back, and that was Home by Atala, and
um,
of course, big shout out to Joe City ICT Solutions for
yeah.
partnering with us on Good Morning Coal City. And this is time for us to look through our top stories for today. Remember, you can always call us on 081 1069. I repeat, 081 1069 or on 08076246701, 08076246701. And at least call us and be part of our top stories, react to our top stories, and of course, you can always send our shout outs to anyone you want to send our shout outs to. All right, we're heading straight up into our top stories for today.
Okay, for the very first one this morning, fire raises commercial building in Ikeja, Computer Village. Okay. Property worth several millions of naira were destroyed in the early hours of yesterday when fire gutted a one-story commercial building on number 3 Osundairo Street off Medical Road in the Ikeja Computer Village area of the state. According to the eyewitness, the fire, which occurred midnight, involved a commercial building accommodating dealers in computers and accessories. Though no casualty was recorded in the incident, but an official of Lagos State firefighter sustained minor injuries during the operation and was administered first aid treatment on site by Lagos State Ambulance Service, Lasambos. Following distress alert received, men of the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service and Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, arrived at the scene and put out the fire to prevent it from spreading to other apartments. The fire outbreak was as a result of electric surge. The building is primarily used for the storage and sale of computers and accessories. It contains high volume of combustible materials, which was said to have contributed to the rapid spread of the fire.
Well,
This is sad.
that is actually sad.
It's a
It's
lot of
sad.
millions of naira. I
Of
mean,
course, has
this
been lost,
is
and
a
that
big loss.
that also brings to question the fact that we all need to be quite conscious, because
Yes.
perhaps somebody didn't switch off
Hmm.
their appliances, and then something like that happened. You can't be too careful when it comes to things like this, and that's why
Yes.
when you're asked to always switch off your appliances,
Mm.
it's good to pay attention.
Yes.
And
And then
then
regular checks.
accidents can actually happen at
Hmm.
any time. You understand? But that's why I say you can't be too careful, but at least do your own part.
Yeah, I'm really glad I just lost one. No, no life was lost.
Yeah,
So
no life
it's
was
I'm
lost, but
grateful. Yeah,
properties worth millions was lost, and
millions,
then certainly it's going to affect
of course. The
the
owners.
the owners. Right.
Mm.
On to the next story, we have a how persistent kidnappings fueled violent community protest in Edo State. The story has it that Ekboma, Esan West Local Government Edo State witnessed chaos recently when a peaceful protest against escalating kidnappings descended into unrest. Though calm had returned, the protests highlighted the deep insecurity haunting the community and the urgent demand for effective government action. The crisis that erupted in Ipoma, the headquarters of Esan West local government area of Edo State on January 10 during a peaceful protest to draw government attention to the incessant kidnappings and security issues in the area, was like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And when it exploded, it shook the state to its foundation. Wide effects were reverberated all over the country. Such was the magnitude of the unrest that Governor Monday Obibolo, the Commissioner of Police Monday Abonika, and other top government officials left their comfort zone in Benin City, the state capital, and traveled to Ekpoma to monitor things, calm frayed nerves, and ensure that the community was reclaimed from the hands of criminal elements who hijacked the protest to cause mayhem.
Mm. That's there's something you said. We talked about something like this earlier. You were saying that kidnapping has become an industry. The kidnapping industry. The
Yeah,
citizens are tired. Every now and then we keep getting news, especially in this state. People are getting kidnapped left, right, and center. And yes, this calls for indeed a protest. The citizens were right in their quest for.
the issue I just have with government is that
Mm,
if they really want to fix this, if they're determined to fix it, they can fix the intelligence reports. Kidnappers, they're not aliens now. They're human beings like us.
mm,
They have network. People pay ransom, right?
yeah.
Phone
Mm-hmm.
calls are being made to negotiate for ransom, right? Well, it's just like I said, it's a booming economy. So
Mm,
the kidnapping economy is a booming economy, and unfortunately, if you've not experienced it, you won't really understand the trauma that comes with it.
honestly, it's a lot.
And I'm so glad that at least what's happening in Iboma has been calmed,
Mm,
normalcy has been restored.
yes.
But it shouldn't just stop at that.
Mm,
There was a reason why the people protested. Um, the government not just visiting Iboma, but making sure that the reason, the root cause of the problem is
yes.
fixed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, for the next news story, domestic refiners move to cut petrol imports. Okay, the domestic refineries on Tuesday declared that they have the capacity to supply more fuel into the local market this year than importers did in 2025. The Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria told the Punch that its members, including the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, have the capacity to supply all the fuels needed by Nigerians without recourse to importation. Petrol importation remains the dominant source of fuel consumed in Nigeria in 2025, accounting for 62.47% of the country's total premium motor spirit consumption. This trend persisted despite the commencement of operations, steady ramp-up in production, and distribution of petrol by the 650,000 barrels per day Dangote refinery. In the latest midstream and downstream sector fact sheet released by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, it was discovered that total national petrol consumption by Nigeria stood at approximately 18.97 billion liters in 2025, with oil marketing companies accounting for 11.85 billion liters through imports, highlighting the market's continued dependence on foreign supply. This means that nearly two-thirds of petrol consumed by Nigerians in 2025 was sourced from imports, while domestic refineries contributed about 7.54 billion liters, representing 37.53% of total consumption, the regulator stated. Wow, what do you think about this?
Well, the fact remains that we need to start paying attention on core regulation in
Mm,
the downstream and upstream sector, in the petroleum sector in general. Because I don't really understand why we should be importing. Yes, it's due to
mm, yeah.
maladministration, poor facility maintenance, corruption largely,
Mm-hmm,
because you can't get all these things without corruption.
yeah.
We are just a joke when it comes to petroleum management and the rest of them. But then coming down to say that our domestic refinery can actually help us, can sustain the country. That's a good
This
development
is a good
actually.
development,
And
yes.
then Well, it's one thing to say, it's another thing to ensure that there's no sabotage. We can remember
Mm-hmm.
when Dangote keep on
Yeah.
shouting that people importing for people who are benefiting from the quagmire in the petroleum industry is trying to sabotage his efforts.
Mm.
Well, I just hope that that government steps up and do the needful, not just doing the needful, but ensuring that they create an enabling environment for more investors to
Yes.
come in into domestic refinery. And that's why when people were talking about modular refineries, if you know what modular refineries means, smaller portions of people, like we have a small sized refinery,
Mm-hmm.
refining for us, and then right now, if we're supposed to be like, for example, Dangote could say he's producing 600,000 barrels per day. Modular refinery can produce 50,000 barrels per day,
Okay.
can produce 10,000 barrels per day. All those little ones could help sustain and help cover whatever thing that could make the country not to meet up with its daily output. But then
Right.
it's still we're still hoping and looking forward that government does
Yes.
the
Yeah.
needful. All right, still on our top stories, we have this next one: give tax reforms human face. Catholic bishops tell federal government, and of course, I believe this call is coming at the right time.
Right. Yeah.
The story has it that Catholic bishops of the Ibadan ecclesiastical province have urged the federal government to implement ongoing tax reforms with fairness, transparency, and compassion, warning that policies without a human face could deepen the hardship faced by millions of Nigerians. The call was contained in a communique issued on Tuesday at the end of the Bishops' First Provincial Meeting for 2026, held at the Jubilee Conference Center in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The communique was signed by the chairman of the Ibadan Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Gabriel Abegunrin, and the secretary, Most Reverend John Onyejola. uh, Reports has it that the tax reforms were initiated by the administration of President Bola Tinubu and signed into law on June 26, 2025. The reforms took effect on January 1, 2026, and have since attracted mixed reactions nationwide. In the communique titled Sustaining Hope and Strengthening Our Good Efforts, the bishops acknowledged the federal government's efforts to reform Nigeria's tax system, but noted that the measures have generated widespread controversy and anxiety, particularly among the poor and vulnerable.
Now, this is a collective. This is what we are saying
Mm,
together with them, because when we heard about the tax reform, yes, it sparked anxiety. There was so much controversy over
mm,
it, and I'm glad that they came out. I mean, it became more transparent, right? They explained to us everything we needed to know about the tax reforms. But yeah, and we need something like this. It has to continue. We need our governments, whenever they make reforms like this, should make it transparent, make it come from a place of compassion on its citizens, especially in a country that is currently suffering from poverty and a lot of other vices right now. So I think that this is a good call by the Catholic bishops.
Well, I don't think it's actually, yeah, somehow they could be pushing it, they could be posturing as being transparent, but there's still relative ambiguity
Yeah.
when it comes to the tax law. The point is they have widened the tax nets for
Mm,
Nigerians, and implementation has started.
right.
The most important thing is it's not about taxing the citizens. It's
Hmm.
about what exactly are you going to be doing with this tax.
Yes.
Because if you tax in other climes, there are poor citizens in every country
Hmm.
actually,
Of course.
but there are systems that help the poor cushion the poverty effect, right?
Yes.
But Nigeria's poverty level is maddening,
Hmm.
and also the inflation level in the country is maddening. So why it seems like there's a controversy when it comes to the tax thing is the fact that they've not created wealth, they've not created an environment for businesses to thrive, they've
Yes.
not created you've not attracted enough foreign direct investment. You've not even attracted enough local investment, but you are widening the tax net for Nigerians. So the issue is not about the tax, it's about the people who will pay the tax. Because
Hmm.
as it stands like this, the system is squeezing every single thing from you and practically providing nothing. So
Honestly.
it's good the call from the bishop is coming at the right time, because Nigerians actually needs to um, we need to have a fresh breath.
We need. We need to.
Well, it's a bishop's call. It's left for the government to heed to it.
Yeah. Okay. For moving on to our next top story, Emir Sanusi enrolls as undergraduate at Kano University. Okay. The Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi II, on Tuesday, dressed in a black gown with a white turban, the Emir joined other students for lecture. He sat at the back of the class in a three-seater, quietly following the session alongside other students. His resumption comes after the university offered him a special admission offer last week, granting him entry into the Bachelor of Law program in Common and Sharia law. The institution said the decision was in recognition of his extensive experience in governance, economics, and public service. Established in 2012, Northwestern University is one of the two universities owned by Kano State. Already a PhD holder, Sanusi is a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and has remained a prominent voice in public life. He is widely celebrated for his expertise in economics and finance, as well as his advocacy for education and social reform. His presence on campus drew excitement among younger classmates who described the moment as symbolic of the value of lifelong learning. Wow, I love this particular story because it's something that every young student imagine having someone as important as the former governor of CBN. I mean, sit with you in class.
You're talking about the former governor of CBN. He's actually the current
The current, I
emir
mean,
of the Kano Ancient
that's
Kingdom.
amazing. That
One
is
thing,
amazing.
one thing that is even that one thing that it's more like a challenge. This is like a
Mm-hmm.
challenge to someone like me. The fact that this man has accomplished. He is a PhD holder. He was once the CBN governor. He was once the chairman of First Bank. He
And
was
now the
once
emir.
um he has actually gone. He has explored. He has accomplished,
Right.
and then he's going back to school
Mm-hmm.
to do law from the scratch. Jeez,
Mm, that's
this is a
amazing.
challenge. It's an amazing stuff, and then it calls to mind one thing: the quest for knowledge. Learning is a
Yes, it's a
continuum.
continuous process.
You don't really tell yourself you're too old to
Mm,
learn or you're too big to learn. You
honestly.
understand
Mm-hmm.
that learning, because the more you keep learning, the more you know, the more you live.
We
Hmm.
keep growing, and I mean,
Well,
the,
congratulations to
the
the Emir,
students will be
right?
so inspired. I mean,
Of
if
course,
he
seeing him in
will
class,
see him
like,
in class,
asking questions, but sometimes I wonder, won't he be intimidating to the lecturers? Won't he be intimidating
it will be. I think it
to...
will be, but then I mean, I'm
But
sure he'll
then,
be
well, it
fine.
depends on how he conducts himself, because I
Yes,
believe that he's mature enough to know that,
of
you
course.
just come to class, do your thing, and go your way.
Yes. Oh, wow.
All right, congratulations to the MA. Of course, that's a very good one.
Mm-hmm.
And well, tomorrow you become a lawyer. And the funny thing is, after the school, you will still go to law school and you'll be called back.
Wow, that's amazing,
All right, still
honestly.
an out of stories for today. We have Finance Minister. We are hoping to rely less on borrowing. All right, the story has it that the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has said the federal government is committed to reducing its reliance on borrowing while intensifying efforts to attract investment into the Nigerian economy. Edun spoke in an interview with Bloomberg TV on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland on Tuesday. He explained that although Nigeria's budget deficit appears wider on paper following approval by the National Assembly, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is focused on fiscal consolidation after implementing key economic reforms. According to Wale Edun, on paper we have a wider budget deficit because we've got the approval of the National Assembly, Edun said. But the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu under the Renewed Hope agenda having removed major distortions and stabilized the economy, is to consolidate, rely less on debt, and drive investment. According to the minister, Nigeria's participation at the Davos Forum is aimed at showcasing the country's improved macroeconomic stability and renewed attractiveness to investors.
Wow. Okay,
Well, it's good if the
it's
government is
good.
actually gone into, rely less on borrowing. The funny
It's
thing
a,
is,
we don't want to borrow
it's
again.
not today we start saying all these things, and it's actually a very terrible thing across Africa, across sub-Saharan
Terrible.
African
Yeah.
countries, and even some, even the Horn of Africa, even in practically in almost all African countries. This is
Wow,
actually
that's really
issue. We
sad.
keep
Yes.
borrowing,
And they keep
we
going.
keep looking for aids, and the money keep coming in. We keep squandering it. We keep siphoning it, and then we keep going for bogus things, unexplained expenses. At the end of the day, we go back to square one. However, if at the end of the day we get to the level where we borrow less, That's awesome.
It's awesome for please we have borrowed so much already, and then we're not even like halfway into the year, and then there's so much to be borrowed, and there's so much to be done this year. So it would be nice, but we can't build everything on hope. This one you're hoping on borrowing. Yeah, we
You know,
need
the point is, let's not actually not condemn every country borrows, but the point
mm,
is what you do with the
what we
borrowing
do with
you
it.
understand,
Yes.
and then the level of corruption in a given society, because when you borrow and it's siphoned again, you go back and borrow, you borrow again for the same thing that you borrowed before.
Okay, for the next news story, Toure names Eagles' most impressive AFCON team.
Mm.
Okay. Former Manchester City midfielder Yaya Toure has described Nigeria Super Eagles as the most impressive side at the just concluded Africa Cup of Nations, praising their attacking football and overall performances despite their semi-final exit. Nigeria enjoyed an outstanding campaign at the tournament, scoring 14 goals and conceding just 4 in 7 matches. They were particularly solid in the knockout stages where they did not concede a single goal despite being eliminated by Morocco in the semi-finals. Speaking to Bleacher Report Football, Toure reserved his highest praise for the Super Eagles, pointing to both their style of play and their attacking numbers at the tournament. I was impressed with Nigeria. Nigeria played good football. When you see the stats, they've been scoring more than usual goals. It feels like full attack, playing very good football, he said. He went further to single Nigeria out ahead of the other contenders. The most impressive for me, in my opinion, was Nigeria. The football they were playing, the goals they were scoring, the players winning because the two best African players was on their team, Turi added. Despite their performances, Nigeria's quest for the title ended in the semi-finals, a result Turi felt was harsh. Mm.
Yeah, of course,
Our Super Eagles, they are good now.
I
They
agree with
deserve.
Yaya Toure.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Yaya Toure is the he was once African Player of the Year,
Yeah.
and he played for a top flight player for he was once top flight player for Ivory Coast and
Mm-hmm.
Manchester,
Wow.
Barcelona and Manchester City. Well, I agree with him. Nigeria
Yeah.
did incredibly well
They
in this
did.
tournament, and they were quite impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we ended up taking the third position, but we deserved the first position actually because we showed class.
Mm-hmm.
We showed the fighting spirit of the typical Niger.
I told you I loved seeing us play. Anyways, we'll go
Sure.
again next time.
I love seeing us play, yeah, but I love seeing us play when I hear about
Probably
our
you
play.
win.
Because I'm so much emotionally invested into
Mm,
Nigeria's football team that I hate watching their match. Seriously.
no more. I think it's not just you. I think every Nigerian out there. The only thing is, other ones they have the capacity to actually watch it and scream. But
Yeah, yeah,
you,
of course. You're right. All
oh,
right, still out of stories for today. We have man 33 sentenced to death for raping two children, women in Calabar. Right, the story has it that a Cross River State High Court sitting in Calabar has convicted and sentenced Okon Effiong, a 33-year-old man, to death for aggravated assault, rape, and armed robbery. The convict was sentenced by Justice Blessing Egbu on Monday. It was gathered that Effiong had, alongside four others, gang raped a lady and two children after an
oh
armed
God.
robbery attack. The attack occurred on April 27, 2024, along Mount Zion Street in Calabar South local government area of the state, with valuables also carted away. Passing her sentence, Justice Ego held that the prosecution had proven its case beyond reasonable doubt, hence the decision of the court to hand down the death penalty. Effiong and one of his partners who died in custody were arrested by the Rapid Response Squad of the Nigerian Police Cross River State Command. Reacting to the judgment, the Principal Counsel of Basic Rights Council Initiative, BRCI, James Ibo, who monitored the case, explained why the death sentence was preferred despite the campaigns. The convict Effiong said he regrets his actions and feels the sentence was excessive. The law provides him with the option of an appeal up to the Supreme Court. His counsel, Basi Otop, who was assigned from the Center for Citizens' Rights and Office of the Public Defender, also said the judgment would be appealed.
Hmm. This is appalling. This is disgusting, and I just love the fact that the judgment handed up to him was severe. Because this is what I said. Judgment at its peak. I'm really happy this happened. Even though they said he could actually appeal, but the fact that he was even thinking that it was the judgment was excessive, it goes a long way to show how, um, although he said he was remorseful, but then he has to pay. He raped. a woman and two
and two
kids.
kids, and
It's that's messy.
that's very very wicked of him. But then the judgment has been delivered, and he has still has, according to the
Yeah, you
law, he
can
has
still
a right to
appeal.
appeal.
Right.
But for now, Baba, enter prison, go dey serve your go dey serve your time first.
Yes. Okay, for the next news story. Kidnapped Kwara monarch's son freed after 20 million naira payment. The son of Oniwo of Afin, Oba Simeon Olanipekun, abducted by gunmen in Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State, has regained his freedom after a 20 million naira ransom was paid to his captors. The victim, identified as Olaolu, a serving member of the National Youth Service Corps, was released on Monday, while his father and other abductees remained in captivity. A family source who spoke to Punch Metro on Tuesday on condition of anonymity confirmed the development, saying the prince was freed after intense negotiations with kidnappers. It is true the prince was released on Monday morning after we paid 20 million naira. They dropped him at a herders settlement around Oreke in Ifelodun local government area. From there, he was taken to the military base in Oreke, where they contacted us, the source disclosed. According to the source, Olaolu is currently receiving medical attention at an undisclosed hospital, having suffered physical and psychological trauma during his captivity. However, the monarch, Oba Simeon Olanipekun, remains in the kidnappers' den alongside other abducted residents, as the gunmen are reportedly demanding an additional 15 million naira for his release. Oh wow.
Well, it's crazy actually.
I'm glad he was
After 20 million naira
20
payments,
million naira.
money that was supposed to be used for something far more productive, wasted like that.
And then they still have the monarch in custody. This is really sad, and
The day we are going to finally put a stop to this kidnapping menace in the country is the day I'll be so happy, seriously, because it's
honestly,
it's crazy right now.
it's becoming more serious as the day goes by.
It's
This
crazy
is
right now.
becoming an industry, honestly.
It's a big industry actually. It's a very huge one.
Oh,
It's unfortunate.
it's a bit unfortunate. Oh,
All right, we are going to be taking our last story for today in our top 10 stories. For today, we have varsity students. Varsity students allegedly commit suicide after losing 600,000 naira to betting. Such an unfortunate development.
mm,
The story has it that a 300 level student of the Department of Computer Science at Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida University, Lapai, Niger State, identified as Kelvin Danlami, has reportedly died by suicide after losing 600,000 naira to sports betting. Sources disclosed that the money had been entrusted to the deceased, but he allegedly used it for gambling.
mm,
The body of the deceased was discovered in his room by a neighbor who immediately alerted the authorities. Speaking with Daily Trust, a fellow student said, "It is true that one of our fellow students took his life after mismanaging money entrusted to him for house rent due to gambling." The spokesperson for the Niger State Police Command, SP Wasiu Abiodun, also confirmed the incident to Daily Trust. He said on January 19, 2026, at about 10:30 a.m., information was received indicating that in the early hours of the day, one Kelvin Danlami, a student of IBBUL, was found dead in his room. A neighbor who discovered the situation raised an alarm, and the victim was rushed to the General Hospital Lapai, where he was confirmed dead. Police operatives attached to the Lapai division visited the scene and conducted a preliminary investigation. The family of the deceased has been contacted. However, further investigation is ongoing to ascertain the exact circumstances behind his action.
this is tragic. This is really tragic. That's why we say, please stop betting. Whenever football season comes, like even every time it's always football season, and then we see people, it's very serious, and then you see them shouting, "You don't cut, you don't cut."
Gambling is actually
Gambling
is a very
and it
terrible
can
thing.
become an addiction. You just see any small money in your hand, and then you just want to use the money.
I seldom see who gambles and who isn't really addicted to
Oh,
it. We have chronic addiction and we have relatively slight
right.
addiction. Gambling is terrible. Like,
It's
it's
terrible.
terrible.
Now
Just
one
look at
life
this
has
guy
been
losing
lost.
600,000 naira. Because why he took his life is because of the fact that he has looked left, right, and center. How am I going to raise 600,000 naira? And I don't even understand. Perhaps the circumstances at which that 600,000 naira came, was quite like daunting. It was quite challenging for that
Yeah.
money to be raised. And Baba, you just spent everything on gambling. Jesus, it's
Still,
crazy.
it's
Actually, it's terrible.
crazy. Um,
All right. On that sad note, we are that's where we'll be wrapping it up on our top stories for today. Thank you so much, Esther, for compiling these stories,
yeah, it's
and
okay.
it's incredible actually. Having to sit down and look through the stories making news across the country to get
Yeah.
us something great like this. All right, this is
Mm.
the good morning. Because the time check is 21 minutes past the hour of 8. And of course, this is where we are going to be bidding you farewell today. And by 8:30, Andrew Nebidun will be coming over for the sports cafe. And of course, we'll be ending the live stream
Yeah.
for today. And we will be coming back tomorrow, same